All right, we're recording now. So welcome to the October meeting of IPMS London. Thank you for all who could make it out in this October. So let me just share my screen as we always do. Hopefully I can share the right one. That one. Okay, you should see the first slide.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let me just go here, do that. So usual, welcome to everyone. Standard etiquette, if you're doing something that's noisy, please mute your mic. Club business, I'm sure most of you already heard the sad news. Cam Hastings passed away last week at the way too early age of 66. For those who didn't know Cam personally, a very good gentleman of the hobby, great guy to talk to if you wanted information about car modelers, but he did all sorts of things. And the other thing many people didn't know is he's also a drummer. So you'd see him around town at some of the various live music venues and stuff like that. So yeah, so like again, we wish him wish the family all the best. There's going to be a celebration of life later on, and I'm just assembling a page to put on the website about it. I'm just trying to find some of his builds. But yeah, very nice gentleman. You could not, there'd be cases I wouldn't see him for a while, and you come back and he'd always say hi, how's it going? Always had, some good ideas and stuff like that. So we wish the family all the best there. So does any of the other executive here have any other club business right now? And then I'll turn over to Carrie.
Nope.
Okay, then in that case, we have Carrie representing, putting on his IPMS Canada hat. Let me get rid of the screen share and we'll make him the spotlight. Carrie, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thanks, Stuart. I won't take up too much time of the meeting. I'm just wanted to bring members up to speed as to what IPMS Canada has been doing over the last number of months. Of course, COVID-19 has impacted IPMS Canada just like everything else in terms of what we've been doing and how we've been able to do it. But for the most part, the executive have been putting together for the last year or so a document called Requirements and Governance or a Guidance for IPMS Canada chapters. And it's a 3 or 4 page document that more or less outlines what IPMS Canada would like to see the chapters doing with regards to organizing themselves and being inclusive of the whole IPMS Canada family. So we've sent this all out to the chapters, some including IPMS London. Stuart just recently returned his. It actually went out at the beginning of this week. And it's now Wednesday, so people have been pretty good. Some people have been pretty good with returning them. So this is really just getting a commitment of the chapters to be more active in the IPMS Canada family, so to speak. So the document really is intended to cover three purposes, and the first one is to create some consistency across the country with regards to how the various chapters are looked upon in terms of governance, how each chapter, and we stress this, how each chapter organizes and run their day-to-day activities is completely up to them. But we're just looking for some consistency with regards to how the chapters run with regards to IPMS Canada and how IPMS Canada plays a role. So there's that standardization, that consistency and the standardization that we were looking for. And when we look at those, and then the other part of that is the governance, and it's an overall umbrella type governance. And what we're looking for is really just enhancing the pre-existing requirements in order for you to be a chartered chapter, such as, just as an example, the president of the chapter has to be a member of IPMS Canada, and there has to be 5. There used to be 3, but now there has to be 5 members of IPMS Canada within the chapter. We don't look at that as being too much of a stretch. Now, with some chapters who have like 6 or 8 members, that may pose a bit of a problem, but being that you're flying the IPMS Canada flag, we think it's important for that to occur. And then the second part, which is more important, which has been an ongoing problem for a number of years, and we're finally getting around to, well, I've been, as the chapter and member liaison, I've been after this for quite a while, but we're actually just addressing it over the last year or so, is getting chapters to report on a regular basis, annual, and all we're asking for is one report every 12 months from the chapters with regards to their status in terms of number of members, who the current executives are, where you're meeting, what time you're meeting. And really what we're doing is we're just trying to keep everybody up to speed with regards to what's going on with the various chapters across Canada. So, and then the third reason for the existence of this document is the promotion of IPMS Canada. Now, obviously, IPMS Canada does all it can to promote membership within IPMS Canada, but we're limited in the sense that we're preaching to the converted. So for me to continually put in RT or in Beaver Tales, our digital newsletter, that you should be a member, well, I'm really preaching to people who are already a member. And so we know for a fact, based on surveys that we have done and the information that's been provided to us, that on average, only 25% of the people who belong to a chapter are actually IPMS Canada members.
Hi, guys.
Welcome. So what we're looking for is to try to tap into the 75% of the members who are not IPMS Canada members. Now, there's all kinds of reasons for that. And, I'm not going to get into that tonight, but what we would like to see happen is for the chapters, and that's what this part of this document does, is it gives the opportunity for the chapters to be more involved in recruiting members. And the reason for that is that 100% of our budget, IPMS Canada budget, is membership driven. That means we don't get any money from any other source other than membership. So if we want to continue putting out the high quality RT, if we want to continue putting out the free decal sheets for our members and other special projects, then we need to increase our budget. And the only way we can do that is by getting membership fees. Now, I know I've mentioned this before, but it keeps coming up. In fact, it came up earlier not this week, last week, with somebody else via email, saying, well, you could save money if you guys didn't spend money going to the nationals. Okay, well, I don't know how many times I have to say this, and I know I've said this to you before, but I'm going to say it again, is that $0 comes out of the IPMS Canada budget for any executive member to take any trip to an IPMS national or to a UK national. So 2 years ago, when I went to the UK nationals with Duncan, 100% of it came out of my pocket. Mm-hmm. When I go to the IPMS USA nationals, 100% of it comes out of my pocket. I don't expense IPMS Canada. Well, you know what? I could expense IPMS Canada for my complete expenses, and I would get laughed at, because none of that money that members pay for their membership fees goes to any member for any travel or any expense. Sorry, one expense. If an executive member spends money, so as an example, Bob Migliardi, who is our national director, he's also a graphic artist. He does most of the graphic art for our decals. So he incurs expenses to produce those decals, the masters for the decals. So for the masters, so for the expenses that he incurs, he gets reimbursed. He doesn't get paid to do it. All he gets is money for those expenses. It's the same with the RT editor. He does that free, gratis. The only expense that was incurred was the cost of the software, the editing software to produce the journal. He does not get paid. He gets nothing financially for it. So if you guys could spread the word, I'd really appreciate that. I continue to do that, but there are still some doubters out there. So 100% of our membership fees sorry, 100% of our budget is membership driven. So that's why really, that's the drive behind this, is to increase membership so we can improve upon what we have to offer for our members.
Hello.
I think that's Dave.
I muted him.
Dave Durrett.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So any questions? I know
Well, I
I
just
went on
wanted
a
to-
little bit.
I just wanted to say that I'm very impressed that you paid for Duncan to go to IPMS UK. I think that's,
Oh, will you stop it?
Well, you know,
Right now.
I'll be honest with you, Jeff. You know, there were some perks, you know, so he carried my bags.
always good to have a sahib. Yes, that's good.
Yeah. So there you go. If there's other than Jeff, are there any other questions on what's going on here? Now, if you want to look at the document, Stuart has a copy. I have a copy. I'm happy to send it to anybody if you want it. It's not very interesting reading, I'll be perfectly honest. I've already got some feedback from other chapters and I've responded to those, but for the most part, what we're trying to do here is to bring the national branch and the chapters closer together in terms of how we do things, and promote the hobby as a common front, and to increase membership on a common front. There's no underlying reason other than those two.
No,
And
that makes sense. One of the things I was thinking about, because it mentions there if a chapter has a built-in newsletter or something like that to send a copy up. Could we extend that? Because we've done quite a few YouTube videos over the years. We're quite happy if they want to either share that or we can give them a copy of those. I'm not sure what's happening in terms of video yet. But yeah, anything like that we can certainly look at, and I can look back through the archives to see if there's anything we can share.
Oh, well, absolutely. I would have to talk to the social media people, but I am sure that we would be more than happy to post that on Facebook or on our webpage. Anything to promote the chapter.
Yep,
And
we're
here's
happy to
another
help.
thing. Yeah, just as an aside, for years now, IPMS Canada, and this doesn't apply to every chapter, but it applies to chapters that regularly put on their model shows. So London being one of them, Toronto, et cetera, et cetera. So we would often be asked to provide sponsorship money for those shows, and we would be happy to do so up to a limit. The only thing that we would ask in return was for a short written debrief on how the show went, how many people, how many models, perhaps some photos of the best of, and so that we could actually then put it in our Beaver Tales digital newsletter and then on our Facebook page, and in turn promote the chapter that put on the show. In the 7, how many years have I been doing this? A lot. Seems like a lot. Anyways, in all the time I've been doing this, not one chapter. No, sorry, a couple of chapters. I correct me. A couple of chapters have followed through and provided that information. And so to me, that's like shooting yourself in the foot. Like if you're a chapter and you put on a show and you want to promote that show and you want to promote it nationally, actually internationally, what better way? And all you need to do is provide me with some photos and a short little blurb. And then I make sure it gets in Beaver Tales and on the Facebook page.
Yep.
That would also help get sponsorship money from other sponsors.
Exactly.
It's advertising.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Exactly.
make sure we do that.
Yeah.
So.
And again, and I may be sounding, a little harsh here, but this has been a year in the works, and I've been doing this for a while now. I can't remember how long I've been doing this now, 7, 8 years, and it gets frustrating at times. I'll be honest with you. When I first took on this position, I thought that my relationship with the chapters would be a lot more positive than it is, and that there would be a lot more interaction, and even getting confirmation that they exist. Like I would send out emails to some chapters and just ask, are you still alive? Are you guys still even working as a chapter? And I would hear through the grapevine that they are, but I'm just looking for confirmation. and I get nothing. I get crickets.
No,
So
that's unfortunate. Well, as I said, no, we went through, the executive and myself went through what Kerry proposed and, or sorry, I should say IPMS Canada, and it made sense. We've got well more than the 5-member thing, and we're going to make sure we send every December is when the update's going to happen. And again, sounds like all of us are on the same page. So, Dave, sorry, can you mute your mic if you're talking to someone else?
Yep.
Thank you.
Gary, it's George here.
Yes.
Being newer members to the club, could you maybe just spend a second telling me about some of the benefits, like of joining IPMS Canada? What's included in that subscription, just for my interest?
Yeah, sure. So when you become a member of IPMS Canada, there's the materialistic aspect of it. So you get 4 journals of the art, 4 copies of 4 editions of RT, which is our journal. You get 4 digital newsletters sent to you via email. And along with that, you're pretty well guaranteed. We try to produce 1 special project per year. So the 4 journals go out between January and December. And in that time, we like to produce at least 1 special project, which is free to all members of some form. So lately it's been decal sheets. Decal sheets seem to be fairly popular with our membership, and those decal sheets are geared towards Canadian subjects. If people have ideas for special projects, we're happy to take a look at them. Of course, if you're going to send in ideas, we appreciate a little bit of research behind it, but so that's the materialistic aspect of it. The other part of it too is that you can go anywhere in the world as an IPMS Canada member, and if you're in Barcelona and you decide, for whatever reason, you're in Barcelona, that you want to attend the local IPMS Barcelona meeting, and you will be welcome. You show your IPMS Canada card and you will be welcome. The same goes for getting into the IPMS UK Nationals, the IPMS USA Nationals. As a card-carrying IPMS member, you're allowed in, no problem. So there's those benefits, and then there's the soft benefits of, as you are doing right now, you're attending a chapter meeting that is IPMS sanctioned, and you're networking, for lack of a better word, with other members. So there's those aspects of it. Now, people will say, well, is that all I'm getting is 4 journals? Well, okay. Most organizations don't produce that. They don't even produce that. They take your money and they say, okay, now you're a member. We try our best. And if I do say so myself, the journal itself, the RT journal, is probably one of the best in the world. We get lots and lots of compliments on what we produce.
Yeah, George, this is the summer edition, and you probably can't see it very well.
I can, yep.
But it's 40 pages. It's got 4 extra pages, very special. But it's 40 pages. There's no advertising. And what's the annual dues, Kerry? Like 35 bucks or something?
30. I think it's $37.
$37, yes.
$37. Divide that by the 4. On top of that, you also get the online. I forget what they call it now. It's slipping.
Beaver Tales.
Beaver Tales, which is a digital publication that comes out probably about 4 times a year, Kerry?
4 times a year.
Yeah, so you're getting 8 publications, and the Beaver Tales one's pretty good too. And they're written by modelers for modelers. They're pretty good. And anybody who isn't a member should become a member very soon, because I wrote an article and I want you guys to get to see it so I can make a big fuss about it at one of the next public meetings.
Please help, please do, so that way, he's been telling us all about this. Share the pain. But no, in all seriousness, yeah, it's a great organization. It's, again, it helps promote things. And yeah, just the both magazines are just awesome. The latest issue of RT I just got in my mailbox last week, and again, they've got all sorts of ideas that some of the topics they would love people to cover. And there's some things there you think, oh, it's not a Canadian topic, big deal. People still want to hear about it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
one of the benefits of the club.
I should
Okay,
point out that art, go ahead.
I just said thank you. Thanks for the information.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I should point out that with RT, all of the articles are written by members. They are not paid. They voluntarily write these articles. So at times, this proves to be a negative, because if you have certain members who write articles on nothing but their aircraft builds, then soon the RT becomes aircraft oriented or armor oriented. So we love it when guys like Jeff write articles on a particular subject. For instance, he did that was a Star Wars model, correct?
Yeah, Star Destroyer.
Yeah, the Star Destroyer. So we love it when guys step up and do those kind of unique articles on topics that are other than armor and other than aircraft. Like speaking of Cam, he and I would have many a discussion. I would try to get him to write some articles on his car model building, because we get very few car models in RT. And that was one of the common complaints from the car modelers. And again, well, guys, just write the articles. They don't have to be. And Steve, our editor, is awesome at helping writers improve their craft and get the article to a point where it's ready to be published.
That's what I'm looking forward to when I see Jeff. So I want to see the before and after.
No,
Yeah.
I can certainly attest to it. And I think I'm still going to keep bugging Dave Gertin, Blappy, to write an article about that GT40 model.
Oh, he better.
Yeah.
He better. We're going to put the pressure on. He
Yeah.
sees there and he hears it. Just for an example, George, I've got this month's issue, which again is there it is. That just came to my mailbox. And if I look at the table of contents, we have 148th RCAF Mustang Mark I. Then there's an F-15A Eagle in 148th, German Albatross in British guise in 132nd.
The Labatt's beer truck.
Yeah, the white Streamliner, Labatt's white Streamliner, 124th, and a diorama on Operation Frankton. And again, the articles are just beautiful. The pictures are awesome. So yeah, like the one for the Streamliner.
Oh, yeah.
Just absolutely gorgeous if you've seen the real thing. And again, just fantastic. And and as they say, the editor in that works with people. So I'm looking at one here. They're talking about he milled the cab on the CNC machine. So you've actually got points he's pointed out there. So just absolutely fantastic. So definitely worth checking out. And they do PayPal, and the website's great as well. It does have some back issues and some other information there. So yeah, no, it's really, really good. I know in the latest Beaver Tales, Bill Zuck wrote an article about Zoom, talking how they've been using it at IPMS Winnipeg and how we've been using it here. So, it's a good resource. It's an absolute great resource. So as I was saying, we've sent back our reply. We, as IPMS London, we agree with what IPMS Canada is doing. We will have to, and again, I got to talk to Jeff about this. We will have to do a report for December, just listing our members, what we're up to and all that. Obviously shows are kind of up in the air right now.
Right.
But yeah, overall it's fantastic. So, okay. Does anyone else have any other questions for Carrie? Anyone? Bueller? Okay, thank you again, Carrie, and we really appreciate when you come to us with these updates.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, no, I'm really pleased. At least we have a good working relationship here and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So hopefully you'll hear from some of these other errant ones.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let me go back to my slideshow. I'll share the screen here again. So I only had a couple of submissions. So when we're done here, we might have we'll have an option for a few more people. Share. Okay, so you guys should see on the tables now.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna start with George this time. So George, I got 4 shots here, 2 of each.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay, I think a couple of meetings ago I mentioned that one of my nephews had bought me this Italiari kit for Christmas 2 years ago. So I was worried he thought didn't like it or didn't make it or something. So I hustled into making this. This is a 172 combo kit where you have the Boeing X-32A, which is in the foreground there, and the X-35B by Lockheed Martin. This was their concept demonstrator aircrafts built in the 2000s for the Joint Fighter program in the US to select the next fighter for all the corps. The first one is the Boeing. That's the one sitting on the ground. It was again a concept demonstrator model. It did not incorporate the short takeoff and landing capabilities. It was just straight and level flight. So this model was pretty straightforward. There was lots of photographs of it, but what gets complicated is as they developed the B version, which was the short takeoff and landing, they changed the wing, they changed and added ducts and vents, and all of a sudden it was tough to try to build an accurate version. So I don't think this or even the other one is that accurate because there are so many concepts built. The one above I built in flight, just mounted it on a little aluminum pole there. I found a spare pilot in the box and stuck him in the cockpit because the kit didn't come with a pilot. Again, this was probably the most inaccurate version from the kit. The kit showed it had US Air Force markings on it, which it didn't in the concept form. The model called for just an all gray paint scheme, but the photographs indicated a three-tone gray scheme, like similar to an F-16 with, you know, dark gray on top, ghost gray on the bottom, and then a mid gray in front of the cockpit. I wanted to show it in flight, so I showed the upper hatches open for the vertical fan system, and also showed the elevators. I had to modify those so they would go downward to show in flight, and the same with the flaps as well. So I had to cut those off the kit, add some bits and pieces to keep them together. The really great part of the kit is the engine. It's beautifully detailed, and I didn't get a good shot of it here, but I added a lot of wiring and solder to replicate the wiring inside. But I finally showed it to my nephew and by Zoom, and he appreciated the fact that it got built. Great kit, simple to build, a lot of inaccuracies that you kind of, I could probably spend a lot more time making it more accurate, but it was just a fun build.
Looks great. All right, let's move on to this one for you, George.
This is Revell's 172nd BF-109, an F4. I got a hold of some extra decals that were from fighters of the North out of Finland during the Soviet invasion. So this is the Messerschmitts flown by Group Commander Horst Karmanenko, if I pronounce that name right, Karmanenko. It's in 1942. He's flying out of Norway against the Soviets during the invasion of Russia. This was the plane he ended up flying after he got shot down and damaged on a mission in 42. He ended up walking 30 kilometers out of Russia back to Finland and Norway, and this is the plane they gave him. I thought it was kind of cool because it had some white cameo put on the basic Luftwaffe cameo. So I tried to replicate that as best I could. This was the first time I used Valerjo, is that how you pronounce it?
Vallejo.
Alejo.
Thank you. Model air paints. I like the colors, but I found they dried on the tip of the airbrush really fast. So I'm not doing something right with thinning them or something, I'm not sure. I had some stretched sprue for antenna there. The rest of it's just out of the box. There's nothing added to it. I just enjoyed painting it and doing the decal work on it.
Looks great.
And then the weather, it just is a lot of oils painted on the decals and put into all the panel lines, and just to give it kind of a scruffy winter look. And
Looks
that
great.
it was again a great. This little Revell kit was really good. Really went together well. Hardly any seam work. Really nice kit for anybody looking for small aircraft.
Nice. With the Vallejo, sometimes I'll put in there a drop or so of their paint retarder. That will
Yes.
help with the tip dry.
Okay, thanks for the tip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I was going to say the same thing. You can get that at Roughdale.
Okay,
yep. Sometimes, yeah. Vallejo and I don't always have the best relationship, but I do find it works.
okay.
Okay.
I just love the smell of it.
That explains a few things.
Yeah, you try whiteout. You'll like that too.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next up we have Mr. Hill with his Sea Harrier. And he's got to unmute himself though. Just give him a second. He's getting there. Here he
How's
is.
that?
That's perfect, sir.
That worked. All right.
All right.
Yes, I purchased this Airfix kit some time ago with the idea of just a nice little out of the box, quick little build. I'm absolutely amazed at how many hours I have in that little thing. Enjoyable hours, mind you, but it is a rather complex kit. Lots of little painting here and there to do. It is out of the box. To me, a rattle can middle sea gray, or what do they call it? Medium sea gray overall, and then dark sea gray on the drop tanks, and the same on the nose cone.
Mm-hmm.
I can't quite remember what color I used on the missiles, but I'm trying, as you're talking about, some Vallejo paints, and it's a Vallejo, and the tip of the missiles is a steel.
Yep.
It doesn't look that good under the camera, but to the eye, it has a totally different look. So I guess there's something in the photosynthesis there that upsets it. But I said I had a lot of fun building that. Weather just enough to look as it's got a few hours of operations underneath it, and away it goes.
What's in the background?
Yeah, what's the beastie behind it?
I built that a good number of years ago. That is, again, one of my, as I call them, display models. You can see the canopy's blacked out. There's nothing in there. It's an old resin kit of a Blackburn Firecrest.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. No, it looks good. Okay, David, we're glad you could join us tonight.
Yeah, can you see me?
I can see you.
Hey,
We can
there
see
you
your
are.
ugly mug. So, okay, so
Still alive, Mary's still alive.
that's good. We're glad to hear. I got two pictures here. They're a little bit fuzzy, but looks like the Starship Enterprise.
It's the 50th anniversary edition of the USS Enterprise, NCC-1701 of Star Trek, the original series.
Mm-hmm. Looks good.
Now, it's fun putting together, as you notice on the back end, that's the the shuttle Galileo.
Mm-hmm.
I got it sticking there as if it's going to take off.
Looks good.
And another thing is on the top bubble above the bridge,
Yep.
I left it clear. I left it clear instead of painting it white, because if you look down inside, you can see the captain's seats.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the captain's seat and all the seats for everybody else up on there.
Good stuff.
It was fun building, but it took a while.
Excellent. So what's Mary been working on?
Just little Doug Ford sized planes. I can
Very
go
good.
get one.
Oh, that's fine. Like I say, if you want, but just don't forget to send pictures next time of her stuff, or you'll be in trouble again. So,
Yeah,
well, it's good.
I'm glad I was able to get online.
No, looks good. Looks good. No, like I said, we're glad you're able to join us. So that's awesome.
And my present project is a 124 scale Garmin F6F-5 Hellcat, put out by Airfax at a 124 scale.
Oh yeah, Larry Watson's built the big one. Yeah. Hang on,
That's a big-
let me just spotlight your screen. Okay, there you go. You can show people.
There's the plane as it is. And if you look on the cockpit, there's actually a map on the table. For the
Very
pilots.
cool. Yep, yep. No, I figured
Yeah.
you would. I figured you would end up picking up that one. You like the big
How'd you know
scale
that?
stuff. Well, because you like the big scale stuff, my friend.
Well,
So
that's the only
awesome.
stuff I really can work with.
Yeah, I know, but no, that's good. No, Larry Watson's been working on one too, and he's enjoying it. So it's really good. So that was all that was on the tables that people sent to me. Does anyone else want to have anything to present while we're here?
I don't know if people saw it on Facebook, but Brofdale apparently is in receipt of a number of older kits. They were able to secure a somebody's extra stash.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I'll have to go
172nd, 148th aircraft predominantly, but there's also, I believe, 124th, 125th scale cars as well.
Interesting. I'll have to make a road trip.
Yeah, so for
Yeah,
those of you who are interested.
he also had some of the newer Edouard, like the Spitfire dual set and the P-51 Mustang he had as well. So
I'm sorry, who got those kits?
Brofdale.
Brofdale.
I'm sorry, who got? Oh, Brodale. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Nope. Yeah, I was there. When was I there? On the weekend? Yeah, I was there on the
Saturday,
weekend.
we saw you there Saturday.
That's
too.
right. Yes, that's right. We saw each other on Saturday because
Yeah.
I was unsupervised that day. So
Ooh,
and I
ooh.
was good. I know I was very good. I came out. What did I buy? I bought 2 paints. I was actually
Is that what you
very
told your
good.
wife, Stuart?
Mm,
Is that what you told your wife? Just 2 jars of paint?
yep, and that's actually what it was.
Well-
I even got the receipt.
Sure, we're being
Okay.
recorded, so you know.
Okay.
So
I'm
Carrie
sure-
didn't,
If that's correct, we're recording. So absolutely, it was just
Yeah.
2 jars of paint.
That's right. That's right. How
Okay.
about you?
You know what? I walked out empty-handed. No, that's not true. I walked out with some AK weathering stuff.
Okay, there
Way
you
to
go.
go. Yeah.
Hey, Stuart,
Yes, sir.
you praised me for getting my pictures in early, but I didn't get a
Where
chance to see.
oh shit, yeah. Oh my God. See, this is how crazy.
Oh.
Sorry. Oh, I now see you. So true, Duncan.
Now what I gotta
My
do to get my
apologies. Hang on.
And
Hang
not
on.
about you. What about me?
Oh,
yeah, they were
God,
just,
nope.
they were so bad, Duncan. They were so
No,
bad.
guilty. No, guilty as
I know.
charged. No, he was really good. He got
Got
them in.
early
He said,
and bad.
and he was so proud of himself. Shit, I'm sorry, Duncan. Hang
Next
on a
time
second.
it's Tuesday
No,
night.
no, I got him right here. Yeah, yeah. See now I've spoiled him. That's gonna be it. Yeah, your P40. Hang on, let me get them right here. We even have 6 of them, so we'll just display them all, and we'll give you extra airtime. Okay, let me share.
He
the
doesn't need
screen.
any extra hair time.
Airtime. I know, but you know what? My screw up. So, all right. There you go. Whoops.
Model, what happens?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, man. It's been a crazy couple of days, as you heard with my wife and that. Okay, do you see the screen?
I can see the screen.
Okay, so go ahead.
All right,
It's 6 in total.
all right. So since I finished a model, I get to share.
Yes.
This is that's Airfix's 48 scale P40B. It's the Pearl Harbor kit, but I've done it as a British Tomahawk. And if anyone's built Airfix kits, you know that they're good and they're bad. And this is one of their not bad kits, but the plastic is, I think it's Indian plastic in it, which doesn't take paint well, and it's soft as well. So anyway, I added an ultracast seat to it, and the propeller blades are from the ultracast spinner set. Quick Boost provided that cranked pitot tube on the end, and then the navigation lights that I have on it are I took out of a Hasegawa P40 that never got finished. The markings on it are from Barracuda Cast, and they're I've shown them to friends of mine, and they all wonder, is it a Canadian P40 because of the logo on the side? But it's actually 112 Squadron, the Sharkmouth Squadron in the desert. This is when they first received the P40s. So this is actually the very first
shark mouth that I used as inspiration after the fact. So, but the logo actually, if you look at it, it looks very much like the Pontiac Indian head logo of the period. So I don't know if the guy was Canadian, but I think he was a Pontiac fan anyways. So and this was one of the models where I didn't have a picture of the actual airplane, but if you Google 112 Squadron Tomahawks, there's a 2-minute video from the Imperial War Museum that comes up, and it was a film shot of this aircraft and 2 others when they were first delivered in the desert in, I think it was June of 1941. And it was when the PR people were there and they did a film on it. So it gave me, it was the only images I had, but it was nice because it's a movie. I could see, where the weathering was on it. So I was able to do the chipping on the wing root the way it is in the video. Yeah, I think that's about it for that. I just want to interject. George was showing pictures of his 109F that Horst flew. But a subnote that he talked about the guy getting shot down and walking 30 miles back to his lines up in the north of Russia. The airplane that he was shot down in and that he walked away from is now sitting in the museum at Rockcliffe in Ottawa. So a little bit of a connection there to Canada with that one.
Very cool. What did you use for the antenna?
That's
rigging?
easy.
The Easy Line?
Easy Line.
Yeah.
I also have the Ushi stuff. I think the Ushi is a lot finer than this. I think
Okay.
Easy Line for 32nd scale and larger, and I'd use the Ushi stuff for 48th. It's just it's a little bit finer with it.
Yeah.
But as you can see, Airfix did a really good job on the model. They got the shapes right in the whole thing, and if you read on the internet, there was countless griping over the shape of, I think they call it the nun's hat, which is the underside of the fuselage coming back from the radiators.
Right.
And they just went on and on about it. And it's one of those things that it's like those pictures that you have to look at for 20 minutes and then you see the sailboat in.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about it. It was that way.
Looks like a P-40 to me. So,
I'm curious, Duncan, for your pictures, are you using like a roll of paper or something as the background?
It's a white cloth.
Just a white cloth, and it sort of just rolls up from the ground, eh?
Yeah, and it's I have a light box that I can use. I just use I'm using an OT light.
Yep.
That I have for working on my model desk, and I just shine the OT light around. I actually got my daughter to hold it at a higher angle so I could get the lighting to shine down, to illuminate the upper side of it better. But yeah, just a white cloth laid out. Because it focuses in the foreground, everything blurs in the back, and you just don't see anything.
And is this taken just with your cell phone or with a DSLR?
This was my cell phone. I was actually quite impressed with it.
turned out well.
I've been playing around with it, and I found that if you take advantage of the telephoto aspect of it, you can, hold your camera back a fair distance and then zoom in on it. And up to about 2.5 times zoom in, it maintains itself. And those are all cell phone pictures. I was actually pretty impressed with how they turned out. They're fair size pictures as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah, no, they look good. And like I said, that's something we want someone at some point to talk about photography. And yeah, you can see the way, especially on this one, you can see where it drops off. But again, it's very subtle. You can see where it kind of bends down, but that's great. No, it looks fabulous.
Yeah, and all I did is I put a couple of boxes underneath the sheet when I'm taking the pictures, just to raise it up so you have a better viewpoint of what's going on, like when you take your picture.
Very good.
So
Good,
I see a
okay.
potential
question.
I see a potential candidate for a demonstration, Stuart. I really do.
I don't know. He's not responding right away.
I know he's very
Okay.
quiet. All of a sudden, he's lost signal.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
never got a
Tapping the
chance.
screen. Duncan, can I ask a question?
Yep.
You mentioned the Indian plastic wasn't very friendly with regards to painting. Can you elaborate on that?
Airfix, if you look at Airfix kits, if you look at the side of the box, you look for manufactured in England. It's usually a Union Jack on the side. And that means they've used plastic from England, which is better quality. The problem with the Airfix plastic from India is it's whatever their proprietary mix they use in India, it's very soft and it's also oily. You would have noticed it in that first Sea Fury kit.
Yeah.
Actually, the one I bought from you, I think that was.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, I can't think of it now. But my Airfix Spitfire I did the other year was the same way, and I'm thinking of doing the Hurricane next. It's my next Airfix kit, and I'm curious about that. But what I found is if you give it a good wash, and then as soon as you can seal it up with Mr. Surfacer primer, it tends to be cleaner and it gives that a sort of a harder shell to it. But you got to be really careful with when you're cutting into it, because it's so soft as just you move your blade at just a slight angle and you've taken this huge divot out of the model. And, you know,
I think the
and then
Nimrod, I think the Nimrod and the Victor, I think both have those, because I remember a lot of people complaining about the plastic there. Yeah. You know what? I built the Sea Hurricane and I can't remember now. The plastic didn't bother me a lot, but because they were all based off the same mold. But yeah, I've heard similar things. Well, again, my apologies for not getting it. I'll make sure I add it to the slideshow. You know what it was? I was shocked. That's probably what it was.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, you went into shock over the whole thing.
I was just like totally shocked. You see, he was even was polite. Good evening, sir, in an attempt to be more punctual. And
Well,
he sent this on October 19th. So he was, 2 days ago. I even replied to him like, I'm so embarrassed. So
The
embarrassing.
next one will be less polite.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Typical. I know. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I thought it was spam.
Yeah.
So, okay. So does anyone else have anything to present while we're here? Oh, hang on. Bill's got something. I see something stick. Let's make Bill the spotlight. Okay, Bill, everyone
Oh,
sees you.
My birthday's coming up, and my wife was so appreciative to let me pick my own gift out.
Ooh.
So I picked up this. It's nice.
Yale.
It has some light flash around the edges, but it's pretty good shape. I just wish somebody would come up with a Harvard as nice. Got
Oh, nice T33. Yes.
which is basically just the Platts kit.
Yep.
But it's really, really nice. And I've had for years some leading edge CAF markings for a T33, and then a bunch of stuff like new, like my Lank and my Catalina, and I've got a Valum B26A, and I getting tired of trying to cut out mass bits and bobs. I got my markings for my Fingal number 4 squad base BC, was it British Commonwealth Aero Training Program.
Mm-hmm.
It just like 15 minutes away from here, and
Yep.
I managed to find a kit in Japan of a Avro Oxford, not an Oxford, Anson.
Awesome.
Still looking for an Oxford. AZ has a really nice one, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. So,
Very good, sir.
yeah, that's about it.
I'll keep you out of mischief for a while.
Sure.
Just make sure, just make sure if Mike comes over to visit you, Frisco, when you leave, I could see a few things there he might like.
And but yeah, just little things here and there, building up the stash. I got about 10 kits that are waiting to be primed, and when I get the other 6, I think, ready for there, I'll have pictures for everybody.
Good. Well, don't forget RT's always looking for pictures too.
Yeah.
I think there'd be some great ideas for subjects there. Very good. Okay.
And,
Anyone?
speaking of that, Stuart, if anybody wants to do like a review of a kit or a book, and there's a Canadian bend to it, by all means, send it in, because it may not get into RT, because we usually reserve the reviews for BT, for beaver tails. But we're happy to take that kind of article and put it in. So
Okay,
go for it.
excellent. Okay, anyone else have anything they want to show off? Any other new acquisitions? Anyone? Jeff, you've been good?
Yeah, I've just been working on the Valkyrie.
There you go. See, it's coming along.
It's very hard to, it's this is the one that Macross, the
Yep.
Japanese show, and Robotech and everything. And I had know nothing about these things. I picked one of these kits up at one of the swap meets a few years ago at the club, and I don't know, just started thinking of doing something different. It's a lot of fun. It really is. They're great little kits. It's a Hasegawa kit, and I'm really quite enjoying it.
Well,
Anthony is trying to hook me up with a proper set of decals for it, because the ones that what I bought was 2 kits for one, and I only had 1 set of decals, so I'm kind of looking for another set. So he's been very kind.
Yeah, well, as we said on the podcast, his other 3 podcast hosts on the Scale Model podcast were slowly converting him to the dark side.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're honestly, they started talking. I had no idea what they were talking about.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
I've learned a lot
Invasion.
too. No, it's good. It's great stuff. Oh, hang on, Dave's got something here.
Well, that's funny because I just picked up one of these from Peter in the club.
Hey.
I just got it like today. I had Shane pick it up in London and bring it down when he was working. And but the decals in this are pretty much shot. They're almost like the box is kind of crusty looking, and
Oh dear.
I think it's a little bit moldy. I'm not sure, but anyways, the decals are all yellowed and they got, I think, mold on them too.
Oh
So
dear. Is that the 72nd?
yeah, 72nd. Yeah, and I've got the
Right.
atmospheric booster on the way too. I bought it on eBay,
I heard.
and it turns out I'm buying it from somebody I know. So so my buddy Ken, actually, I know through Starship Modeler and Wonderfest and that. So it's on its way to me. So I'll need to find some new decals for this. If you go on eBay, there's decals on eBay somebody's producing.
Yeah. Yeah, we gave him all the options.
Yeah, so I may go to eBay and find decals for this, or anyways, I sent Peter a message. Maybe he's got some extras kicking around. So
Good.
we'll see.
And
Or maybe I won't even do it as Macross. Maybe I'll do something a little more clever. I don't know.
So we were talking about you earlier before you came on. I'm surprised your ears weren't burning. Any comments on the Ming GT40, the 112th?
Well, I think it looks gorgeous, but I understand it's going to be like 300 euros. I think Richard sent me a message about that.
Yeah, Richard said 360. I think he said something like that. Yeah. So that means you're only going to order 2 or 3?
Yeah, maybe 4.
307.
307. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I may not want it that bad. So I mean, I do have 6 more of the Ford GT40s to build. So
Yeah, you got a stack of those. So you got to pace
Yeah.
yourself, mate.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
You got to do the discovery first. I mean, come on.
That's true. I heard.
yeah, I do have the cockpit coming for that. So if
Yeah, I
anybody has one of those Mobius Discoveries, the cockpit detail set's available now. It's all resin.
Well, I see they have a new scale of it too now. They got the 1/350th now.
Yeah, 1/350 is coming out. And I heard a rumor that Pegasus is releasing, because they did a few, they've done, what did they do? Pegasus did the big pod, right? The
Yes.
2001 pod in like 1/8 scale, right?
Yep.
Well, rumor has it they're doing the Orion space plane in 1/72nd scale.
Whoa.
So that makes
Wow.
it 3 feet long. I had one of those. Or is it 2 feet? I think it's 2 feet long. I had the resin kit, the old Captain Cardboard kit. I got it in trade from somebody for a bunch of stuff I had, which, I didn't think had the same value, but the guy wanted the stuff I had. And then I flipped it for $250 US, like immediately, right? So within like hours, I had somebody that wanted it. I put it on Facebook, and they're like, "I'll buy it from you." And I'm like, $250, and they're like, "Sounds good." So I shipped it to England to this guy.
Mhm.
So if they're doing a styrene kit in 72nd scale, that's pretty exciting.
Cool. Well, good. Good. No, like I say, always lots of new stuff coming out. It's one thing I always, anyone
Yeah.
says the hobby's dying. Nope, we still got lots of goodies coming out, so we'll see. Okay, anyone else before I close the formal part? Nope. Okay, well, thank you all for attending the formal part. I'm going to stop the recording now, and we're going to just